Welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Carrie Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm Jennifer Stalen. I am so excited about this episode because, Carrie, it's about food. And I'm a huge foodie. Food just sounds like heaven.
It does. And I love that these podcasts are a little bit longer so we can really dive into it and talk about cheese today. So I got to sit down with Amanda Scarlati from Cache Valley Creamery, and we just go over ways to incorporate cheese into your diets and different ideas to make it delicious. And now I'm hungry. You're going to be hungry.
You're making me hungry.
Should we just give it a listen?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Amanda, I am so excited to chat with you. I've interviewed you multiple times. You've been on the show a bunch, and it's so fun to actually get to sit down and talk.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me again.
Whenever you're in the kitchen, I'm always like, yes, Amanda's here, because anything you make with Cache Valley Creamery is amazing. Anything you make in general. How does it feel to be able to work with cheese and it makes everyone smile? Do you just love that?
It's like the perfect little topping in addition to everything. That's what I love about it, is it's so versatile. There's so many different things you could do with it. So it's such an easy ingredient to work with.
Tell us a little bit about, let's go back to Cache Valley Creamery and the philosophy behind real food made simple.
I think a lot of times people can get very complicated and feeling like they have to make a dish overly complicated with a lot of ingredients. But really it comes back to the quality of the ingredients. And when we're talking about Cache Valley Creamery and real food made simple, it's using those quality ingredients and putting together in a simple way to make a really delicious dish, a snack, anything like that.
Well, and I think because Cache Valley Creamery cheese and butters and everything it's so good and rich and flavorful. You don't need a lot of spices and things going on. It's already so good. Why is going back to basics and focusing on simple, recognizable ingredients so important in today's food culture, do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it is just over the years, we've gotten into this quick type thing. Everything is processed or DoorDashed or things like that. And that's fine. There's a space for all of that. But going back to those simple, real, whole food ingredients is really what is the best for us and really makes the best tasting food. And that's why I love working with Cache Valley Creamery, because it's a really quality whole food ingredient that you can pair with a few simple ingredients to make a really delicious dish that seems like you spent a lot of time and a lot of ingredients on, and you did it.
And impress your family, your guests, yourself even. Okay, you talk about small, doable shifts to eat better. What are some easy changes if listeners are thinking, hey, I don't want to have to go through a lot. It's the new year and I don't want to be feeling overwhelmed. So what are those small, doable shifts to eat better?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be very overwhelming, especially when you talk about the first of the year, the first part of the year, and trying to sustain that through the rest of the year. It doesn't need to be this whole changeover of your diet. It really can just be small little steps, like using those whole food ingredients like cheese quality and pairing that with different ingredients. So pairing those cheeses with, fresh produce or fresh other whole ingredients, nuts or meat and that sort of thing. And focusing on one little step at a time so you don't get overwhelmed, and doing those small sustainable shifts, they're going to last with you a lot longer than, okay, I need to overhaul everything.
Little things will last much longer. That's so true. Well, in cheese, we often think it's indulgent, right? How can it actually fit into a balanced everyday diet?
Yeah, cheese doesn't have to be indulgent. I mean, it can if you that's all you eat.
And it sure can.
And it's delicious, but it really is a hearty protein source that is sourced with quality ingredients. And so pairing it with different types of carbs and things like that can give you the nutrients and things that you need to keep you energized all throughout the day. So pairing it with apples or carrots or things like that is great. And it's, you don't have to add a ton of it. And that's what I love about it. When you have a cheese or an ingredient that has such a good flavor profile like that, you can sprinkle it on things. You can add a little bit of it to it. So you're creating that balance and that extra flavor without it being over the top.
That's so true. And speaking of, in my house at all times, we always have to have, we like to have multiple Cache Valley Creamery items in our fridge. That's ideal, right?
Same.
But the two we always have to have are the pepper jack sticks.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. They're just so easy, individual. You unwrap them. I will eat multiple in one sitting. And then my husband, we have to have the Swiss cheese, the sliced Swiss cheese, and 5 packs of it because we go through it so fast. So you're right. It can be just snacks. You pair it with stuff. It can be indulgent if you want it to be. But what are maybe some of your favorite ways to pair cheese with other whole foods to create a balanced meal or snack?
Yeah, I think my favorite is like, especially when I'm packing myself lunch or my kids, is just adding that cheese in there with some other things. So, you know, we grew up with the Lunchables and I still love an adult Lunchables to this day, you know, and those little snack bars or the sticks are perfect for that. You can throw that in a container with some crackers, grapes, apples, carrots, meat, that sort of thing. And it creates a nice balanced lunch. And my kids are always loving to snack. And so it's the perfect thing that they can eat. But even when you're making a meal, you know, mixing cheese into a pasta or adding it on top of a vegetable is another great way to kind of create that balance and in all of your dishes.
Well, in Cache Valley Creamery, there's the pepper jack sticks that I mentioned. There's the mozzarella and like the cheddar ones, right?
Yes.
So there's multiple kinds.
Yeah, there's different kinds. And that's what's great about it. It's so versatile. You have the sticks, you have the snack bars, you even have like the bigger ones that you can cut up into smaller pieces. And they also have the cheese curds too, which you haven't tried those. Those are a must.
Heavenly. The garlic ones.
The garlic ones are definitely my favorite.
Yes. Also, if you're just chewing on a block of cheese, no judgment. If you're not going to.
You do you. I mean,
do you. You know, like there will be no judgment. You're in your sweats on the couch chewing on a cheddar block of cheese. I mean, you're living your best life. And for someone looking to stay full and energized, like, you know, we're looking to feel good all day long. Maybe we're running and grabbing snacks and things. What makes cheese such a versatile protein source? I don't think a lot of people think about like the protein.
Yeah. I mean, cheese is a great whole food protein source and it can go with so many different things. And that's why it's great because you can pair it with all sorts of stuffs, whether it's a snack, pair it with crackers or fruits and vegetables, or you can pair it with pasta and adding in that protein. And so you have all of these different ways that you can add it in there, and pairing it with carbs is a great way to give you that energy, but then also sustain that throughout the day.
Yeah, very true. What about meals? So we've talked a lot about snacks. So what about, like, what is your favorite way to use Cache Valley Creamery cheese in meals?
Yeah, I would say adding it to different meats. Like, you know, I did the skillet French onion chicken, which is really great. You just melt the cheese on top and it's adding extra protein to it. But even adding it into pasta, you know, stirring in some cheese, adding it on top of vegetables, all those different ways you can add in some extra protein, you know, especially if you have kids that maybe are a little bit more picky when it comes to that stuff. I know I have some kids that are picky about protein sources. And so sneaking that in with vegetables and pasta when they're kind of those carb heavy kids is a great way to add an extra protein for them, you know, and they just think they're getting a really delicious sauce in there. And
so good. Sprinkle a little magic on there.
Yes, exactly.
A little extra cheese goes a long way. How do you think sourcing milk from local farms impacts the quality and flavor of the cheese?
Yeah, well, anytime you're talking about local ingredients, you're getting more quality ingredients. The less that something has to travel and be processed and everything, and the fresher and the higher quality you have. So that's with Cache Valley Creamery. They're using this high quality local dairy that really comes through in their products. And you can taste the difference, you know, in it because it is sourced locally. And so there's less processing and travel and all that stuff. And it really does make a difference in the dish.
You can tell. Absolutely. What do you think people notice first when they try a product made from those high quality real ingredients? How would we know the difference? Obviously it tastes better.
Yeah, definitely in the taste. And also I think you can tell in the melt factor. If we can talk about that. I mean, I've used all sorts of different cheeses and some of them just don't melt very well.
It's true.
And there is a reason for that. But that's one thing I love about the Cache Valley products is they all melt really well. They're versatile. And again, you can taste the difference.
They get gooey quick.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if you're making a sauce, sometimes it doesn't mix as well. And I don't ever have that problem with Cache Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why we love the Swiss too from Cache Valley is because they're sliced thinner. And so it's like meltier immediately. It just tastes so much better. Well, and Cache Valley Creamery offers a range of formats. So there's, like we talked about, snack bars, cubes, shreds, string cheese. How do you think the variety helps people incorporate cheese into everyday life?
Well, I think it's great because you have all the different options. So it's like I was saying, if you're running out the door and you need a snack, you can grab the stick. You know, if you're packing lunches, the bars are great to just add in there really quick without it drying out. But if you really want to make a super gooey mac and cheese, you have that big bar that you can shred. But also if you just need a quick sprinkle, you've got the pre-shredded one. So I personally have multiple different types types of cheese and different kinds of cheese in my cheese drawer. I have a whole
just
dedicated
ready to go.
cheese drawer. Yeah, because there's some nights that I just need to grab it really quick, and so having that versatility is great.
Well, and I think it's ideal to be able to like shred the block, of course, but I've noticed with Cache Valley, the shredded cheese, it's not dry. Sometimes you get like the dry, like it's almost like powdery. It's not.
Yeah. Well, and it's an anti-caking agent that they put in there so it doesn't stick together. And it's one thing that I've noticed between the different pre-shredded especially is that you don't get that because it does affect the melt quality.
Yeah.
Like if you're mixing it into something, it does change it and it does taste different too.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that, the pre-shredded brand.
Sure. Lots of options.
A lot better.
What about seasonal dishes? It's always so great to, use cheese beyond snacking and like everyday meals, but like seasonal, that's fun.
Yeah, seasonal is fun. I mean, especially like when you're coming into like springtime and fresh, I feel like there's so many different flavors when it comes to cheese that you can add and it will change the whole profile of a dish. Like you were saying, the pepper jack, like it adds like just a little bit of spice to things. It's so nice. And with cheese, there's so many different options. I mean, these different flavor profiles can go for a lot of different seasonal dishes. And of course, when you're eating seasonally and locally, then you really get that flavor and quality that comes through.
Yeah. When I think of spring, I think of like baby showers and parties and things coming to mind and like just charcuterie boards full of cheese.
There you go.
Like, I don't think that's ever going away. People just love to snack and cheese is the perfect thing to snack with.
Exactly. Well, and it's easy too if you're hosting an event or having people over. It's like the perfect appetizer that can just sit out and snack and it's
Everybody's
easy.
happy. Everybody smiles. For someone, Amanda, that is new to incorporating more real food into their diet and they're wanting to change that up a little bit, what do you think is the simplest way to start using Cache Valley Creamery cheese in their routine?
I think I would just start simple. Don't feel like you have to overhaul things. Like I said, small, sustainable changes. If there's a certain prepackaged sauce that maybe you buy all the time, use a recipe from the Cache Valley Creamery website. Try those out, or soup or something like that. And again, going back to the snacks, I know we've been talking about that a lot, but that's the easiest way to incorporate it is just pairing those whole foods. They always say that like shop on the outside of the aisle, look for that stuff, the simple food, the fruits, the vegetables, fresh produce, fresh meats, that sort of thing.
What are your favorite everyday pairings or quick recipes that listeners can try this week if we're used to like using those canned sauces and things, we're a little intimidated. And I think it's good to remind people that there are so many wonderful recipes on the site too.
Yeah, they do. They have so many different ones that, I have personally developed and the other people have, and it's easy. I mean, there's sandwiches, there's soups on there. There's also different egg bakes. And so it's really simple. A lot of this stuff, you can think that cooking is very overwhelming and it takes a lot of work, but it really is just pairing the right ingredients together. So again, start small. You can try making, an omelet or
add pepper jack to that omelet.
Yeah,
I promise it's life-changing.
Or even like a salad or a sandwich, try doing something just small, sustainable changes. And before you know it, you'll be cheesing everything up.
It's so true. Don't overwhelm yourself. This is fun because you're adding cheese. So
exactly.
it's an exciting thing. Okay. What's one message that you would want listeners to take away about eating better, keeping it simple, and enjoying real food all year long?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of pressure on people to do things perfectly. And it really doesn't need to be like that. When you're changing your habits, just these small little sustainable shifts are what's important. And so again, just starting with those whole foods, don't beat yourself up because I have Chick-fil-A for dinner sometimes. And
love me some Chick-fil-A.
There's a time and place for that. But start replacing some of those little things will make a huge difference in your life.
Simple.
Yes.
Okay. Well, anything else we want to add? I mean, this is so fun. We get to talk about cheese. It's like the best podcast ever.
It is. I know. It's the best thing to talk about because there's so much to talk about. I think just try adding it to different things. I mean, that's how I come up with some of my recipes. It's just
sprinkle in some soup.
Yeah.
Like that's always a fun one because you make it like it just looks better, right?
Yeah. Just top anything with it. I mean, really, it's going to be okay. It's just cheese.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be better. You're going to be much better.
Yeah. It's that perfect like little glitter on top that just makes it better,
Yes. And everybody just loves it. Okay. So we are going to wrap up with what we call Fresh Five. So it's 5 quick questions. We're going to ask you to get to know Amanda a little bit better. Are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1, it's brunch. What are you ordering?
Probably omelet.
PB&J or turkey sandwich?
Oh, PB&J. For sure.
I love PB&J. East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
And what makes you smile in your life?
My kids.
Oh, she's smiling so big. You can hear it probably through the microphone. fun. They do make us smile.
Yeah, my babies.
Oh, I love that so much. Well, it's been so fun chatting with you about
thank
cheese.
you. I always love coming in here and talking about cheese.
Anytime. We love having you on the show, on the podcast. If we want to follow you and, of course, Cache Valley Creamery, where can we go?
Yeah, you can follow me on socials at Scarlati Family Kitchen or at my website, scarlatifamilykitchen.com. And then, of course, a lot of my recipes are also on the Cache Valley Creamery website, which is cachevalleycreamery.com.
Easy like that.
Yep.
Love it so much. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank
It was great
you,
to
Carrie.
talk with you. Thank
You
you.
too.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.